Are you ready for this? Are you? My whole Givenchy collection. Cue the intro. Hi, I'm Gabby and welcome back to another edition of the Fragrantician. And let me just scratch my nose like I always do of a video. So if you do like my content and if you do think that I'm not too weird, or if I am weird enough for you, please don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. I love seeing all the comments, love liking all the comments, and I love engaging with you all. It's so funny that, you know, you come back and you comment. So there you go. So today we are talking about my favourite, or one of my favourite fragrance houses, Givenchy. And I have 9 fragrances from them. And I have a few of them that are in a couple of categories. So let's delve into it. So the first fragrance I'm going to talk about is probably the oldest fragrance that I have in my collection, although it's not a vintage. I've had it about 10 years now. I haven't used a lot of it. And this one is Isatis. As you can see, I haven't used a lot because although this fragrance is a reformulated version, it's still strong. And as I say, I've had this a good 8 to 10 years, so I haven't really put a dent in it. But you don't need a lot of this. This came out in 1984, 85, I believe. It is a beauty of a fragrance. It reminds me of an old friend that I still know and love. She used to wear this as her signature back in the mid-90s. Let me just spray it in the air. Yes, it's effervescent. You've got that champagne-like quality. Very vintage fragrance. Can you smell that, Richard? Yep, he's nodding. Do you know what? One day he will talk. You will talk, won't you, Richard? No, don't put your thumb up. You've got to talk. Say hi to everybody. Come on, just say hi.
Hello.
Yeah, that's all you're going to get at the moment. So there you go. So anyway, yes, back to Isatis. Some people call it Isatis or Weisatis, but it's pronounced Isatis. Strong. This is strong, isn't it? Can you smell this? Yeah, it's a strong fragrance. That's why you don't need to smell a lot. But I do love it nonetheless. And it will always be in my collection because when I do smell it, I still smell of my friend Victoria, who used to wear this. And if she's watching, hi Victoria. So yeah, Isatis. Next one, we're going to go a bit further onwards to the mid to late 90s, and we're going to go on to 1997 thereabouts to organza. This is organza. Now this one, again, strong. This one I absolutely love. I've talked about this a lot. It's heavy on the white floral, cinnamon, nutmeg. It's an oriental floral, a little bit of vanilla, but more spicy floral, I would say. Beautiful, beautiful fragrance, long lasting, good performance, good sillage, just like Isatis. I would probably say Isatis is stronger than this. And this is a beast mode, even so. But for me, it's elegant, it's class, love the bottle. It's slightly, what's the word? It is slightly spicy, and I think it's from that nutmeg, which is in there, and that walnut. Sorry, I said cinnamon. It's not cinnamon, it's walnut and nutmeg. But the tuberose, the gardenia, the orange blossom, the jasmine, they play in this fragrance, they dance in this fragrance, they're the stars of this fragrance. So that is organza. We're going to talk about actually is forward to the year 2000, and it is my favourite, haute couture. So haute couture, this is all about smoked raspberry. This is playful, this is flirty, this is going out, and actually this video that I'm doing actually inspired me to buy the Nostalgique. If you have subscribed to her, I'll link her channel down below. She actually is a big Givenchy lover, and she spoke about all of her Givenchy fragrances, and this one was a big like for her in her collection. She didn't have the previous two, but this one she did. And there's actually 4 more fragrances that she has in her collection that I have as well. But go and subscribe to her, I'll link down below. Very, very knowledgeable, speaks fluent French, and is from Canada. It's beautiful, it's sickening. But there you go. So she's a 90s baby, I'm a 70s baby, so I'm probably old enough. I'm old enough to be her mother. So anyway, I digress. So let's go into Givenchy haute couture. This came out in the year 2000, the millennium, and it is a going out fragrance. It's like that smoked cigarette kind of vibe, but it's that jazz club vibe. It's, yeah. You know, once it settles on the clothes, you get that, you know, the morning after the night before. Dare I say any more? Sure. The next one we have is a flanker to haute couture, and that is my couture. This came out, I believe, in about 2003, 2004. Now, although this is a flanker, it's completely different. It's fresh. Blackcurrant in there plays in there as well, and it feels like it has some sort of greenness in there, and I think that comes from the florals. But if you don't like green scents, you may not like this. It is an everyday fragrance, it is not as strong, and it doesn't project as strong as the original haute couture, but it is still classy, office friendly. It has a little bit of citrus in there, but it's the blackcurrant, it's the white florals in there that really come into play. I think it does have a slight bit of almond in there as well, a little bit of nuttiness. Very hard to come by, but if you can come across it, then yes. I would say it's not as a big love for me. It is a like, but it's not a big love for me as the haute couture. I only bought this recently, or rather my dad did kindly buy it for me recently, but I still do like it. But I would say it's just as an everyday fragrance, although any of these fragrances you can wear any day, any season, any time, morning, evening, midnight, whenever it suits you, go for it. But yeah, my couture. Next one we have is about a year or two later, I think, when this came out. Actually, no, I do beg your pardon, it's a flanker of a range that came out a couple of years later after haute couture, but this one only came out actually about 3 or 4 years, but it's from that kind of same line, I think, and that is by the Live Irresistible range, the Very Irresistible. They're kind of like amalgamated, it's like an amalgamation of it, and it's the only one I have, and that is Live Irresistible Eau de Parfum Délicieuse. This one, complete contrast to the others so far. This is gourmand. Really, really sweet. I'd probably say it's the sweetest one out of the whole Givenchy line that I have. Oh, it reminds me of pastries, cherries, almonds. It's mouth-watering with vanilla, dries down to that vanillic, but it's basically that pastry mouth-watering vibe that I really, really like. Moderate longevity on me, good sillage, leaves a nice scent trail, I would say. But I'd say it's a moderate performer on my skin. It lasts about 5 to 6 hours on my skin. So, but yeah, you know, you can overspray it. Don't forget, hashtag slap it on, hashtag heavy on the trigger, hashtag heavy sprayer down below. But you know, I do slap it on, and that is Live Irresistible. This one, again, it's flirty, it's playful, it's non-offensive, but you do have to like gourmand sweet fragrances to like this, because it is that almond cherry, you know, those almond kind of like croissants. This is what this reminds me of a bit. It has that kind of vibe to it. So yeah, Live Irresistible by Givenchy Eau de Parfum Délicieuse. One I have, and these two I have are from the same line. However, one of them is quite really close to my heart, I would say. So the first one I have is Ange Démon Le Secret, and this is a 30 ml bottle. Now this one, this is an eau de parfum, this is an eau de toilette. I think the Nostalgique, she had the eau de toilette, and I think you would prefer this one to the eau de toilette, but this one is, it's a tea-based fragrance scent, I would say. It's very citrus floral. I would wear this spring and summer, and I've heard some people say it's a heavy scent. Well, it's a moderate scent, you know, moderate scent trail on me anyway. Love the bottle, love that back there, you know, it's meant to represent that demon's back. I think this is more angelic than demonic. I think this is more playful, this is more flirty, this is more safe, this is more, I would say, more of a safe blind buy to the next one I'm going to talk about. The only thing I don't like about the bottle is the lid, because it does easily come off, and it is plastic, but if you can live without that and you can appreciate the juice, that's the most important thing. So that's Ange Démon Le Secret. Next one we have actually came out before that one, I think, or did they come out at the same time? Let me know in the comments down below. But this one I do love, and this is the original Ange Démon. Now if I hold this bottle up, you can see how dark the juice is. Now, the bottles that are from post 2006, because this is a 2006 bottle, I know that from the batch that I bought, and I'll show you the box as well. This is the original box. The new box, it comes different. So the new box, it comes in a slight more pattern down below here, and the old box, as it opens up, you've got the black that opens there, and then you've got the white that opens there, and I don't think you have that in the newer formulation. So that is the bottle there if you want to look out for it. And also on the back it says Beauvais, and I think this was before Louis Vuitton bought the brand out, because there's no way of the brand. But this begins with a 6. This is, yes, so this is a 2006 bottle. This is, that's the best way when you look at, always look at batch codes. The batch codes are normally at the bottom here. I don't think I can see them. Yes, the batch code is on the bottom here as well. But anyway, let's get into this. So this, I feel, because I have had the new formulation, but I have this and I do have another bottle, backup bottle, because that's me, I get into panic mode. This fragrance smells like no other. It's lily, it's oak wood. It's strong. Can you smell that, Richard? Yeah, it is really, really strong. On my skin, it lasts 10 hours plus. That is a lifetime on my skin. If I moisturise my skin, it could last more than that, longer than that. On clothes, it will last for days, last for weeks. That's if you don't wash them. But the juice is lighter in the normal one. The juice is darker, you'll find, in the more vintage one. But this is stunning. This isn't for the faint-hearted, I would say, because of the lily, because of the, I can still smell it in the air now, that oak wood. It has a little bit of oak moss in there as well. You do get the citruses in the beginning. This fragrance takes you on a journey as well. I've got to do I have done a comparison review of these two, actually. I have done a comparison of these two, like a mini kind of like review, but I really need to do a full review on this. So, because it is a heavy, it's a heavy fragrance. It is a heavy hitter. You know, I only put out about 5 or 6 sprays of this, and I have to really stop myself, because if I put any more on, it's quite choking. And you know what I'm like. I will spray normal fragrances. I will spray 12 to 14 sprays alone, and then I'll go back for more. Yes. So, but this one you don't need to. I adore this, and yeah, if you can, get your hands on it, because you can still get some vintage ones. But the reformulated one does still work as nice, but on my skin it doesn't last as long. It lasts maybe about 7-8 hours. Now, for some people that might say, well, that's long enough, isn't it? Well, yes, but you know, I like the heavy hitters, and I do like this bottle. Love it. Next fragrance I'm going to talk about, we have 2 left. So we're going to talk about, again, this could be a love or a dislike, but for me it's a love, and this is L'Ange Noir. This is straight up, let me find, this has no sweetness. Well, a little bit maybe from the tonka bean, but it's predominantly sesame and almond, and that's really it, really. It's quite linear. So from the start to finish is what you smell. So it doesn't really take you on a journey, unlike this one does. But this one is still nonetheless beautiful, and I adore it. It's a fragrance that has an acquired taste, I would say. I would actually say is it more of a safer blind buy than the Ange Démon? Well, it depends on your taste. If you like polarizing scents, then go for it. I mean, this isn't really polarizing, and you can actually layer this with other scents. So if something is a bit more sweeter and you want to just tone that sweetness down, you can actually layer this. And I've actually layered this over Irresistible Delicieuse, which is sometimes a bit too sweet for me. And it just tones it down a little bit. But yeah, I adore this fragrance, and it's still, again, it's another fragrance that's hard to come by, but that's L'Ange Noir by Givenchy. Last one is, again, one of my favourites, and that is L'Interdit. Now, L'Interdit is straight up bubblegummy tuberose. It's really bubblegummy. The tuberose is sweet in this, and it can be headache inducing, can be cloying again if you spray too much. But I've got the original. I don't feel I want the EDT. I don't feel I want the intense. I feel this is enough for me. But the intense version again has that, I think, sesame seed note in there. But do I really need that? No. You know, I kind of know what I like, I know what I love, you know, I don't need to get that, but for me this satisfies my fragrant needs. And I have had compliments from this fragrance. It is a bit of a compliment getter, I would say. Nothing like the original L'Interdit, which came out in the late 50s with Audrey Hepburn as the muse. This is nothing like that. So if you're looking for something like that, then this is nothing like that. However, I have seen some vintage L'Interdits on eBay. So watch this space. Husband just gently rolling the eyes there. But yeah, so this one, could you wear it daytime? Well, I would. But I think, you know, if you don't like tuberose, you may not well like this. But I think the tuberose mixed with the other florals, I think is done pretty well. Givenchy Fragrances do their fragrances really well. And I love Givenchy House as a brand. I think they're iconic. I think they're a staple in your fragrance diet. Yes, I use that word, diet. I would probably say my most favourite top three fragrances are, let me just get them out. I would say coming in at number 3, it probably would have been a number 2, but coming in at number 3 is Haute Couture. It has been taken over. I would have said that would have been number 2, but number 2 is now Organza. And I would say number 1 is irresistible. Yes. If I was going to make this a signature from Givenchy, it would, so hard, it would be cross between these 3 because I cannot pick one. So, what is your favourite Givenchy? Do you have a favourite Givenchy? Have you got any? Do you dislike Givenchy? Do you love Givenchy? What was your first Givenchy fragrance? What's on your wish list? I have to say, one on my wish list actually is another old one, and that is Amarige, which is an anagram of mariage, which, I'll put the picture up here. That came out before Organza in the early 90s. Complete floral bomb, I think. I think it's got hyacinth in there, but it is a floral bomb in there. But I can see why it could be like a wedding day fragrance. But I love the way that they played on Amarige, mariage. So don't forget to comment down below. Give a big thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe. And if you want to put a thumbs down, you can, but there we go. But until the next time, don't forget, bitches, don't just dab it on, slap it on. Ciao for now, bitches. Ciao for now.